Part 1, Chapter 1, Creating Beautiful Outcomes. You've got from this point forward to create the most beautiful outcome in all areas of your life. The way to do that is to live from a place of love, void of fear in every moment you can. Love is acceptance, including no comparison to others, or what would be if only. Love is connection with oneself. Love is staying in the present moment and not thinking ahead of the here and now. Love is gratitude for everything that comes into your experience, because it is there for your benefit, no matter how hard that may be to believe. The universe is not only conspiring to help you achieve your goals, it works faster than you may think. Here is one example of a beautiful outcome. His name is Riley. He is my son, and he was born with the genetic makeup commonly known as Down syndrome. I'm writing this book to share an example of the joy, love, and beauty we can all experience, regardless of circumstances, when we understand our role in creating, connect with ourselves above all else, and when we allow life to unfold, that is, when we let go and love. As an MBA who majored in finance, no one planned more or took more control over life than me. I achieved, yet during that time, life felt extremely hard. I was unhappy, regularly anxious, and I felt like a shell of a human being. I was disconnected from my real self, which had consequences throughout my life. There's nothing inherently wrong with being an MBA. It just wasn't the best thing for me and my nature, especially when I didn't know who I was or what I liked, and therefore had no interests or hobbies to balance out the achieving. I began writing this in 2013, 11 years after a rock-bottom time in my life, which included my first marriage ending and a gut feeling that if I didn't give myself permission to be myself, which meant I needed to first find myself, that I was on a path to get sick, in whatever way that would manifest. Riley was a year old. I'd been witness to the profound impact he was having on people, I kid you not, on a daily basis. It happened when he was sitting in the grocery cart or doing something similarly ordinary. I don't have an explanation for it, but I'm honored to have been given the gift of experiencing the joy he spreads. Another reason for writing this book is to share the concept of energy influencing everything in our lives, including physical form. During my pregnancy with Riley and beyond, I exercised my belief that energy can and does affect physical form, something many think of as unchangeable and only determined by genetic constitution and circumstances. I surrounded my son with positive, loving, high-vibration energy in a variety of ways, including my thoughts, my spoken words, Dr. Masaru Emoto's water crystal cards, rose quartz and other crystals placed on my belly and around us, music, and foods. I did not think ahead. I did not research Down syndrome. I did not share the genetic testing results with anyone beyond Riley's father and 2 close friends, so as to stay in my place of love and not risk being influenced by the fear others would certainly have had. I did not think about the baby's physical form at all, not even eye color. To me, the genes did not necessitate anything, yet I would accept everything. I focused on the baby's essence. I thanked him for coming on a regular basis, and I told him how much I loved him. My one and only prayer was for a, quote, beautiful outcome. I trusted that the specifics would lend themselves to the beauty, whatever they may be. Everything was unknown. How would I know which specific details and circumstances would be best? Very importantly for the baby, I felt beauty, ease, and contentment. Riley was born 2 weeks early. He was 8 pounds at birth. His organs were fully developed and healthy. I learned at that time that 50% of children with Down syndrome are born with heart defects, and that a large percentage have kidney issues. I learned that babies can have multiple surgeries in their first years of life. I learned that low muscle tone is a hallmark of children with trisomy 21. Riley's tone surprised the medical staff at the hospital. During our first visit to the pediatrician's office, the nurse evaluated him, then turned and said in a whispered tone of amazement, "You have the best case physical scenario." Certainly this was not a negative thing to hear. However, it wasn't as positive as you might imagine. I was in complete trust mode. When you're there are no positives or negatives. Circumstances are not the basis for and do not determine ease and happiness. As Gabor Mate says, safety is not the absence of threat. It's the presence of connection. No matter how great the challenges we face, we can be happy, create the lives we want, and be the director of our lives, rather than feeling controlled by life and our circumstances. Life is in the interpretation. What you feel and do when you hear the words "you're fired," or "I want a divorce," or "your baby has Down syndrome," affects what happens next. Ultimately, nothing can go wrong. Everything will go right because there is no such thing as wrong. You influence the future, and the future is now, and now, and now. So let's get to the place where your influence is guiding you in a direction that involves less pain and more pleasure, less struggle and more ease, less scarcity and more abundance, less fear and more love. There's more beauty on the other side of the current challenge you face than you've ever known before.